What is up, my Eggy peeps? Quick correction to the record. I said that we could see who was watching the videos, and we can't. That was a mistake. I got confused about seeing all the comments that came through and the messages that we got. With that said, our best episode yet is coming up right now, so enjoy. Peace out. Well, I can't believe we're actually here for episode 3 already. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Welcome to Here and Now with Bud and Fluff. And without further ado, let's get right to it. Fluff, what's going on, Bud?
What's on your mind, Bud? Red Rock's on my mind and Red Rock's on my heart.
You're from there, right?
I grew up there. I spent the solid 10 years of my growing up period, the key formative teen years especially. Running around Colorado with a free season ski pass to Steamboat because my mother worked for the ticket office, so the family gets free passes. And Red Rocks and all these other amazing places to go and visit, and can't wait to kind of tease some of the stuff that I got to experience there. But I think that's what makes it such a big deal. I mean, that place has got so much legend, so much history and energy attached to it. And I don't care if you open for 20 minutes or, played a, sundown to sunrise set there. Once you step foot on that stage and you take that all in, you're a changed band, I think. So, like I said, a lot of energy flowing through the Eggyverse today, a lot of happy family members and friends and, fans, of course, just to see them hit that level and know that it's only still going to go up from here.
Right. I think a lot of people share the sentiment of wish I was there, That was, for me, Blues Traveler is my other band. I have this kind of frame of reference where I say, if I was going to be stranded on a desert island and the only music I could take would be this one band, who is it, right? And it's been Blues Traveler for me for a decade or two, at least, probably more. Of course, the Grateful Dead have a giant body of work and everything, but Blues Traveler just kind of fit me a little bit more, So if that even is possible, because Grateful Dead is a big part of my identity. But anyways, Eggy comes along and, replaces them at the top of the list. But to have them both on the same bill and to not be able to be there when I've been at I've been at like so much stuff and we've had the freedom to be there. And all of a sudden now, there's just so much going on back at home that we just got nothing bad, but just a lot of busyness going on. So we just can't get away, And
life happens. But that's why before we get too far into it, I want a major shout out to Joe Belinky, who got in there and gave us not only a stream, but he was like 5 rows back. We got like a beautiful stream. He got the whole set. And then he gave us that beautiful quick turnaround and showed us the sheer magnitude of what Eggy was seeing the whole time. So Joe, thank you for doing that. Anytime there's a stream in the group, it's so great for everyone who gets a chance to be there. Cause like Bud said, there's a lot of us that wanted to be there, of course, and just couldn't swing it because life happens, and that was a real treat to be able to see it. But I really did want to ask, like, what have you been to Red Rocks yourself? You've been to Colorado. I don't think you've seen a show there, but didn't you go by there? Is it no? Okay.
Yeah, we went there and walked up in and kind of got to look down in and see. We didn't get to sit and like go into a seat or anything. The staff, there was a show there that night, and so there was already people filing in because it was a pretty big, everybody that plays there is a big draw nowadays. So staff was pretty like sticky about letting you get too far down in and stuff, but we got some pictures, and the drive up in is amazing. You go through like a bored out tunnel of rock to kind of get up in there and stuff. It's really neat. All of Colorado is very picturesque, especially if you're from the East Coast. We're like flatlanders compared to the people out there, and we've, literally, and we've got plenty of hills, but it's just different.
No, you said something too that I think adds to one of the things of many things that makes Red Rock such a special place is there's this different level of energy there, of course, but there's just this like this anticipation that builds even more than most venues because of that drive in, because you're going up these windy, crazy roads. You're like, are we even there? And you're still going up and you're up and you're not even at the parking lot yet. Then you get to the parking lot, you're like in this most incredible scene and you're nowhere near the venue. Not nowhere near it, but you still got,
Right.
you know, depending where you park, you may have a long couple flights of stairs to hike
Fine.
up. And so, I mean, you're just this whole time, your excitement and your energy is just building. You can't wait to get in there, you know, and it's just, the place is usually bursting at the seams, you know, the lots there are always like crazy, crazy fun. And it just, you know, that natural setting, you know, is just, I can't think of too many other places that I've seen shows. And like I said, having grown up there in the 90s, I put my stamp on that place. Trust me. You know, I have some stories to tell and memories from there for sure, but not right now.
Closest we got around here is Great Woods. I think they call it the Comcast Center now. But Fish played there a bunch of times. Blues Traveler played there. I mean, I used to go down there and see the Allman Brothers and Fish, and you know, all back in the day.
Yeah, we have Blossom. We have Blossom. Like Blossom is 25 minutes down the road from us, and a lot of people like to go to Blossom in the summer, and they got a lot of decent shows there. But it's like the same. It's like Great Woods. It's a corporate cement, you know, thing slapped down in the middle of a city. You're driving down the street, you just turn into the lot and you're there. Not like, again, this Red Rocks, like climb up into the sky as you're going to Red Rocks, you know. So it's really just, and then again, being in there, that natural amphitheater feel and just the beauty of the rocks,
scale,
the size, the sheer size of the rocks to you is pretty amazing. And, you know, if you get there, maybe they don't let you do it anymore. But back in the day, if you went when it wasn't a show day, you could go down and just stand on the stage and just look up and just pretend you were like, you know, in your band or whatever you want, you know, whatever your dream was, you know. But you know, speaking of that, think about what they were looking at, because I'm pretty sure that's the largest venue they've played now. So I don't know who's exactly keeping track of that.
I don't know either as far as seating wise goes. So I've kept track of all the shows that I've seen in a spreadsheet of seating capacity of where I've seen them, but not just every show they've been to. But it's got to be. I mean, the Westville Music Center is pretty big. Looks like a lot of seats there, but I don't know that. I mean, Red Rocks has got to be bigger. The lawn alone, the open area alone probably holds more people than that. So it's got to have been the biggest. Might not have been the biggest crowd. There was a lot of people there, but it was still early. So venue size wise, probably the biggest, but there might have been more people at the Brooklyn Bowl in Brooklyn for Purim or something like that. I'd have to take a look and see. I don't remember the shot from Joe Balicki or Belinsky or whatever it was, but thanks, Joe. But I don't remember the shot when he turned around. To see how many people were
picture,
really there.
They've been posting. They just posted in the last hour on Instagram and Facebook some of their shots. And there's a shot from them on the stage, so you could see how full the place actually was by the end of their set. But no, I looked it up. That place is about a 9,000 person capacity. Before
what's Instagram? Is that a social media website?
I believe so. Yes, I believe so.
How you guys go? If anybody doesn't know out there, go on Instagram. I'll have to look it up later and see where they are on there.
Comedian, I love it.
I think I have an Instagram account, but look me up.
Probably the biggest crowd they've played to is Bonnaroo. I mean, I don't know how to count that, but that looked like, if not very comparable to the amount of people that were in Red Rocks yesterday. But again, to my knowledge, before yesterday, for them being on the bill on a much smaller show, not a festival the size of Bonnaroo, was like Denver was like 1,000 when they sold out the place there, Cervantes, right? And I think Brooklyn Bowl is 1,000 or 1,000 and change, somewhere around there. So that's kind of been their number for a while, I feel like. And then yesterday it was probably 6, 7 by the end of that set. So that's pretty freaking cool.
We're gonna have to say, hey, all you viewers out there, fact check us on Brooklyn Bowl. What's the seating capacity? Make a comment down below, and we'll tell you if you're right or wrong or something. I don't know, but we'll interact with you. Make a comment. Just do it
for sure.
Just try
for sure.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there watching them, thinking about all the bands that I saw there back in the day in the '90s. Fish, Widespread Panic, Allman Brothers. Like that was my core of shows over a run of years, and then a lot of different one-off bands and stuff like that. But I mean, there's been just so many famous acts to walk on that stage, and Eggy's now no exception because they're going to be
They were
up there,
looking
man.
good. Yeah, they were looking good, man. Oh,
But
my hold on, I got to make my motion lights go back on a second.
my light's working today.
There we go. I got all these all new LED. I got to walk like a freaking Bigfoot. Make them go on. You can leave that in if you want, Jen. Doesn't matter.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How long do you think it'll be till they headline there?
Oh boy. I mean, so this year's second half tour schedule kind of took me a little bit by surprise. Don't know why it took me by surprise, except that I was just had in my mind that they would have more shows like they had been doing, smaller venues, stuff like that. Not when they came out supporting Humphreys, I said, wow, that's a great choice. God love them. But I was hoping for like last year at this time, they were coming through like Maine and Vermont and they were all around New England. They were out at Treehouse, I think, in July. So I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, I think they played like 1,000 shows last year too. So that kind of tracks with, what you were saying. Well, I mean, I think that, the way it's been going, hitting Jam Cruise gave him a lot of, exposure to some people. Bonnaroo was obviously major. Red Rocks last night was perhaps transformational. We'll have to wait and find out. High Sierra is a pretty big one that they're hitting. They play Saturday night. So
where is
tomorrow? That's upstate California. I'm sorry, I don't know off the top of my head the city. Yeah, I know. I should know that.
So far away.
It's been out. I mean, they've been doing that one a long, long, long time. So. But they did that one last year, I believe. So this is their second. They're going back there this time. So.
I mean, the West Coast is.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah. The West Coast is just kind of almost unreachable for me. Excuse me. I mean, I'll fly if I really have to, but what's it cost to fly out there and see one show?
It's a commitment. No, you're going to go see shows out there. When you live where we do, you're making a big commitment. But you guys also hopped in your car once and did that drive. So, that's it's doable,
Twice.
but you gotta, that's an even bigger commitment.
Right. But I didn't leave Earth. You know what I mean? Like I kept contact with, I touched grass like every day. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't flying anywhere,
I think my favorite memory though was when you drove that trip from Steamboat down to Durango, and you were yeah. I think you did leave Earth. Maybe you might have left your body a few times, not Earth. But...
I still have flashbacks. If I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, it's because I rolled over and had a thought of a 6,000 foot drop to my right with no guardrail. And it's to my right, so I can't even see over the end of the hood to look down. And I'm telling you, my wife, God love her. So I got a little bit neurotic, and she's like taking video. And I'm like trying to control my breathing. And I'm like, listen, just take pictures. Don't take any video, because if I scream, I don't want it to be on. I don't want it to be. And she's like, what? And I'm like, no video. I couldn't even. Yeah, it was, I mean, I had forearm sweat, from driving up there, man. It's called, you go in and it says, welcome to Switzerland, America, or America's Switzerland, or something like that. It does. And then it's the Alps. I felt like I needed a Saab 900, It's like, holy crap.
Well, I can say that stuff. Luckily the drive into Red Rocks isn't quite that bad. So
no,
there's some hairpin turns when you're going up there, but it's not as bad as going down to Durango. So.
No. And then they canceled that show, right?
I know.
Yeah. So what? like talk about getting slapped around by a little bit of irony, right? You know, I mean, we go through that, and then I'm like, I gotta go back. I gotta go back, and there's no show. Like, what are you talking about? Luckily, the way back was out of there was different because we were going out the other side or something, if I recall.
You're going to
but
Vegas.
yeah. So it was a different way out, but God, I'm literally sweating right now, just reliving it. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was a dream come true. I love to drive. I've Cadillac Mountain in Maine, gone up that like fast. Like I drive fast, you know, like no problem. Not unsafe, but fast. And like driving is my thing, right? Like if I play video games, I drive, you know. And so that was unbelievably great, but not at all what I thought. It was great only because the adrenaline was just pouring in overloading amounts. Like a roller coaster, you know, that I couldn't go back, and there was no way to turn around, and there was oncoming traffic every once in a while too. So, but we could do a whole show, okay,
on that drive.
You know, on that one little tour.
Oh wow, yeah, we could, right. We should. Ooh, woosah.
Yeah, for real. Oh God, what's our next topic?
I just want to ask you one last thing on the Red Rocks subject. I wanted to know what you thought of the set.
Textbook.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So I think I made the comment on Facebook. They were true to themselves, no doubt. You know, I thought there might have been some greater influence with that level of stage where everybody's tuning in to stream Blues Traveler, and there could be some massive national exposure that they might. I think our friend the judge was making comments too about, I'm surprised they're not playing anything off the new album, you know. But I saw a clip today of Jerry just incidentally in my feed, and he was getting interviewed, and he said, I don't know what it is about the people that follow us, and I'm paraphrasing, but we're the slowest growing rock and roll band on earth. But the people that follow us make a connection, you know, and that's why they're with us. And it was like the same thing. I sent it to Jake. I sent the clip to Jake, and I said, hey, this makes me think of you guys, you know. Not because he plays like Jerry or anything, but just because of that whole vibe of how they're approaching it. So the Dead wouldn't go out and play Touch of Grey if corporate told them to. They'd be like, oh, really? You're going to get an 18-minute drums in space because you asked for, you know what I mean? Like, so I think they're just being true to themselves, you know? And I don't usually make parallels between them and other bands, but there it is.
Well, for the record, you just said that not that Jake plays like Jerry. I wouldn't actually say those words. I would also never say he tries to play like Jerry, but I will never say, you wouldn't hear me say he doesn't play like Jerry, because I think maybe a little bit he does.
Well, that's definitely not, and I didn't mean that in any way, a negative way.
I know, I think,
you know, like he's channeling that spirit for sure, you know, imitation. Right. We've talked about that. Like imitation is suicide. Right. So, right. So he's not imitating, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I thought about the song list was perfect, you know, like middle of the lane, Eggy, the stuff that got us thinking about Eggy. Those are the songs that got us, you know what I mean? Like, so to Mike's point, the judge, to his point on, they're not playing anything new. Well, the new stuff will get you just as hooked as the old stuff. And so it's okay to do the old stuff, you know, and let people be exposed to all the whole, you know, the roots. Right. So it was awesome. They were looking good. They looked like they were having fun. You know, Mike was moving around a little bit more. Mike Goodman was bopping around out there, and Jake was making some good moves, you know, so they looked great.
I thought they played,
Donnie had his organ out there, the big one, right?
Pretty sure what? Again, I know for sure Alex didn't have his drums like we talked about, and I don't know if Donnie, I don't know if he had all his stuff, some of it. I'm not as well versed in that as you, who spends every minute of every show examining and studying each instrument while he's playing it. So
you'd be surprised how much footage I have of his feet, just like hitting the pedals. You know what I mean? Because I'll be like, I'll zoom in on his, because I'll be far enough that I can zoom out on the whole thing and have him in the picture, and then just slowly zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. You don't even realize keyboard players are using their feet like which I didn't learn that until
almost. Yeah,
I didn't know that until I became a Doors fan when I was like 13 and found out there was no bass player. Ray Manzarek was doing it, with his feet. But yeah, so.
Well, one last thing you mentioned, you mentioned our friend the judge. I just hope that he's feeling better, because I know that he was supposed to be there and had a little bit of an injury and wasn't able to make that trip, unfortunately. So, Judge, I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, right. And the band shouted out to everybody that was there in spirit, and I'm sure that he was one of the people they had in mind. It was great.
Yeah, if I was taking a set list, I would have called that Jake's message of love. That was a very nice Jake's message of love that he gave.
Seeing that clip of Jerry today too made me think also of, I thought it made the connection in my head with the pictures from the parking lot that Mike's mom was posting and stuff. And, the band just being out there with everybody and how awesome that is,
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
Man, so real, so just like what's important. Even in their biggest moment, they're more accessible than ever. But to have them be on their biggest stage and also be, and I think it's been kind of like that when they did the Brooklyn Bowl. They did that pop-up thing where they came by and stuff. So that's just them again being true to themselves, I believe. I can't read minds. I don't know what their values are, but I think you can have some pretty good intuition just from observation and reading their lyrics and listening to what they watch, observing what they do.
I think I know three of them: truth, love, and family.
That's right.
So, and that's why I like that you brought that up, because seeing their family there, seeing Mike's mom and parents there for the first time, exploring Colorado and posting, and it was just like, one of the things that they've done consistently, Eggy as a band, when they go on these tours, is they share a lot more moments from the road with us than I think some bands will do. Get a little bit more intimate, and I've just thrived on just seeing them share these little moments, whether they're stopping at a gas station or pulling over on the side of the road to record a little ditty or something, and just like being able to feel like you're there with them for that moment, and just out there and being a part of it at all times I've never had that before with a band. It's so great.
Right. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't take a video when they go into Buc-ee's though?
Well, I've never been to one. So
what? Oh, back up the tape. Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. I don't know. If me and you ever go on a road trip together, the first place it's gonna be to a Buc-ee's first, and
even if we have to go 200 miles out of the way the wrong way.
200 miles is nothing for a Buc-ee's. I mean, it's literally not. Once you've seen 150 gas pumps and all at once, and you can just picture all that greenhouse gas rising at once. It's like, it's a spectacle. It's a spectacle.
Oh, bud. Oh, boy.
Good time.
Good times.